any of you that use intercompany transactions, you can never, when you looked at one company, you never knew what the source was on it. So you had to go through. So now they integrate that in. So when you look at intercompany transaction, you can see what the source information was from the transaction. So this is a nice little feature. We just have to build ports to show the origin transaction. So now you can see everything in the system. Payment terms. So they added a number of new payment terms. So there's due date option using the transaction date. You have adding days to the due date on the payment terms. So right now you have grace periods, for the customers and payment and vendors like that. But now for individual payment terms, you can adjust those. You have additional due options, discount options, and options for next month, months, and month day. So additional more flexibility on their payment terms options. And fixed asset, they have a new close report. I haven't really seen this one yet, but now you can put it for all books for the close report for fixed assets. Any of you that are using distribution, this also includes for payables, purchase orders, and things like that. The ability to change the email address on historical transactions. So if you had a transaction with an email address associated with it, and that person left that organization, and now you want to send that document to a new person, you can update that email address on that document. So going forward, to be sent it, that new email address will be associated with it. Payables warning. We have an open PO. This is a new feature. So if you have an open PO that you receive a shipment and you don't have any invoices for it, and then you go and enter a invoice for this vendor in payables, it's going to give you a warning saying, hey, you have some open POs out there and you haven't received the invoice yet. It's an option you can turn on and off, but for some people, when they work with vendors that POs only, it's actually good to have, so you can see that maybe you're entering it incorrectly. They now move the invoicing, for those who just use the invoicing module in Great Plains, to the web line. So the invoicing module is now available on the web line. So for HR and payroll, they now move the business portal functionality that dealt with HR and payroll self-service applications to the web line. So this is the first one here, project employee expense. This is now available for those of you who use project management or just use project management for employee expense reporting. This is available to allow the users to enter their expenses online. The employee profile. So for those of you that use payroll, you want to allow the users to enter their profile, update their profiles via the web line. They can now do that through the web line themselves without having to go through you. And they've also introduced a new workflow for the employee profile workflow. So when the users make changes in the employee profile, it has to go through a workflow. So it's going to expect a workflow to be developed. And that workflow will go through the appropriate people, and those changes won't be committed to the system until someone finally approves that change in the system. So they may make a change to their information today, but if somebody's down and don't approve it, it's not going to be committed to the system. So when payroll gets run, if their address changed, it's not going to be updated. This is new. This wasn't in business before, but now you can associate managers to the employees in payroll, and the managers can have a team view in the web line. So they can go and administer their own employees and change information. Once again, it still goes through the workflow, as well as see other information regarding those employees. So now they have manager profiles in the system. You can see that. Employee skills and training. Employees can update. So when they go out and take training classes or they get a new skill, they can update the system themselves. Once again, in order to provide proof, they can it has to go through a workflow in the system here that has to be approved by someone in HR before it gets committed to the HR module as valid data. So they can't just go and update the system themselves. And manager skills and training, just like the other one here, managers can also update their own employees' information and maintain it. And once again, it has to go through the workflow. Employee benefits. This is one of the features that was in Business Portal. It's not as robust. You know, you had the open enrollment in Business Portal. I think they're going to be getting there, but they haven't given us any information on that yet. For now, they can go in and manage and view their current benefits and make changes to it. I think eventually they'll have it. If you're using HR, they will have that open enrollment process and cafeteria plan like they had in Business Portal, where people can sign up for the benefits. And in this version, they can also see their pay stubs. So if you're using payroll, you might get the ability to see the pay stubs and be able to see the pay stubs online. Another thing that was transferred over from Business Portal is the ability to manage the W-4 and make their own changes. So users can log in and change their deductions, dummy deductions, and how much they want with help. And once again, this has to go through a workflow before it's committed to the system. So any of these things that they're using in the prior workflow, if the workflow is not set up, it's not going to allow them to make changes, so it's not available to the user. And direct deposit information. So this is a new screen in the web client and as well as Great Plains. So they can go in and manage the direct deposit information, make changes to it, and then commit it to the system. And through the workflow, they'll be able to be able to review it and try to make sure they commit it and approve it to the system. This is new too. So for in the previous versions, even in Business Portal, you had to go to a secondary place to view pending operations. So they've added navigation lists for the HR people to see what's going to be approved, so they can easily see that they can approve documents. They don't have to go to 2 places anymore. That's one of the benefits of bringing the workflows back into Great Plains. They have more control on what's visible to the users through the workflows. And if anybody's using Ken Payroll, that's their own web client. Business intelligence, they've increased the refreshable self-reports. Anybody who those have been now integrated with the Great Plains front end, as well as now you can access them directly to the system. But now they're refreshable, and with the Smartless Designer from Great Plains, now you're going to be able to build those refreshable reports with the Smartless Design. Before the version you couldn't. It was just pure Smartless, but now you can build a Smartless. So you don't need Smartless Builder or an Excel Builder to build those reports. Business Analyzer, I don't know if anybody's used the Business Analyzer application installed it, but that's an application that comes with Great Plains. It's a standalone application. You don't have to use Great Plains with it, but it's more of a host that delivers reports and KPIs and management quarter reports and things like that. It's another tool that you can use to deliver reports to the users. In this release, it's cross-platform now, so you can go and run it on multiple devices, iOS, Android, and things like that. So it's one of the things one of the things that they're moving towards the whole cross-platform environment. They're not limiting themselves just to Linux anymore. So it's a pretty nice tool. It's one that they call it Command. So this is a just a rundown of the features that have been released since 2013. So we talked about the 2015, the navigation, integration for management order, identity management, some of the system features here. The financials combined. So those of you that are on 2013 but have done R2, so those are the financials features that have been released. The roll down account segment description, that's new. That's kind of a nice feature. People change the account segment descriptions, and you want to update descriptions all across your accounts. Transaction document attached. That's new in R2. If no one's familiar with that. The workflows and the payment terms in 2015 for the financials. distribution, any of you that are using distribution modules, the encumbrance reports for purchase orders. It's a nice report that they released in R2. Purchase requisitions were released in R2. Some of the payroll functionality that was released in 2015. And some of the business intelligence functionality that they released. And these are all in the web client. So at this point, 2015, all the web client functionality that existed, or better say, this functionality that existed, is now been transferred over to the web client, as well as all the modules are available in the web client now. So there's really nothing that is, except for management board, doesn't get some web client available, obviously, but everything else that is dynamic GPU related has been transferred over to the web client. So there's nothing you can do. Now, third-party modules, I'll get to talk to those ISVs to see if they're available on the web client because some things aren't. And just architecturally, they can't deliver via web client, but a lot of them can. So. Any workflows here. Self-service functionality. And just want to talk a little bit about some of the R2 features that are coming out. So we recently received the ISV drop for 2015 R2. So 2015 R2 comes out in June, mid to late June. That's what the current date is. So that should be pretty consistent because we can only get the ISV drop about 30 days prior to them releasing it. We got it last week. So this should be coming out. So in this version, they're going to have 25 new features. HTML5 is supposed to be part of it. So if none of you have upgraded or plan upgrade, you may want to wait until R2. And document tags is now part of the workflow. So some of the things that they're coming out, so they redesigned the purchasing window. And I don't have a stable window I can put in here. And I don't know if I'm allowed to put it in anyway, but the purchasing window is now all-encompassing window. So if somebody's familiar with, the different areas for inquiring on purchase orders and payment, now it's just one central window with everything in front of you. For one vendor, you see everything. A lot more efficient in accessing purchasing data. They have new analytical accounting transaction lists. So if anybody here is very limited on what you can use to access analytical accounting. You have some basic smart lists. You had the self-query tool that they had for it, or you go management order. If anybody uses analytical accounting, they now have new navigation lists, so that you can search for analytical accounting data a lot easier and export that data to Excel. They're introducing, this is new for W2, so users will be able to log in if you're using payroll in GP. You'll be able to log in and reprint your W2 in a printable format. And they'll maintain that from year to year, so if it changes from 2014 to 2015 to 2016, that format will change. So that's a nice feature for those that are using payroll. They finally got rid of 2 GL inquiry windows, so you're not going to have one for open, one for history. You're just going to have one GL inquiry window. So when you go to a smart list, you're not going to go to your windows, figure out what you need to do, and pick it, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of nice. They're introducing in R2 a self-service use type. This goes with transition business portal over to 2015 on R2. So the self-service user type is free user type. There will be free user type, so they're full access. And that gives people access to everything, break clients or whatever, give them permission to it, so they can enter, post transactions, things like that. You have your limited user, that's view only of everything. So you give someone the actual payable screen and go and view it, they can't do anything entry. And then you have the self-service. And the self-service will give users access to applications that are deemed self-service applications. Much lower price point for a self-service user, but that gives them access to requisitions, expenses, approvals, all of these self-service apps for HR, if you're using HR, and anything that SQL development being classified as a self-service application. Be a self-service user. And they added the document attachment to the workflow. So I don't know if anybody here is on 2013 using the new document attachment capabilities of 2013. Through 2013 and 2013 R2 in 2015. And now with R2, document attachment replaced the old attach a file to the node. So it added to almost all the transaction screens and some of the cards, like vendors and customers. But it allows you to put a lot of documents, attach a lot of documents in different formats, and now it's stored in the database as opposed to all the documents. Okay, so it's much more secure, it's backed up. So when we first introduced that, you attach documents. Now the next version of it, they put a scan button. So if you had a scanner attached to your computer, you could hit the scan button and scan a document attached right to the attachment. So now, if you enter an invoice, and I hit the scan button, attach it, and I have the workflows, now that document goes to the workflows, so when the person gets the email notification, I need you to approve that document becomes part of the email. So they'll be able to look at somebody's a non-great place user will be able to look at that document, see what it is, and not just get the details of it and say this is an invoice for $1,000 or whatever it is. Look at everything with it. No matter how many documents are associated with it, you can put as many documents associated with that transaction you want. And then they also added, they had the payable batch approval that you can do, but now they added it at the transaction level. So now when you enter a payable transaction, you can build an approval by transaction on what needs to be approved and what doesn't need to be approved. So they have payable transactions, you have purchase order approvals, you have records approvals, now you have payable transaction approvals through the system. And that is a feature. So let's take a couple minutes so I can get my the demo piece of this. So show you some of the features and workflows and like that are in the new version.
Any questions? What you all seen so far?
Tim, first, those of us who are upgrading in the next few months, would you recommend installing service-based architecture or holding off?
Somebody had, well, it's automatically installed.
Well, no, it's part of the additional product screen when, like SafePay or fixed assets, you have to click on it to install it.
Well, it's installed on the server, so you install it on the server. Right. Yeah, I would install it.
Okay.
So yeah.
I mean, from my thinking is, if we're not going to use it, it's another piece of software that can have bugs until they fix it.
Well, you can, but like I said, it's one of those services that users aren't communicating with it.
Okay.
But yeah, I would.